Hey everyone, Scientology TV has finally arrived and I get to talk about it. It just loaded yesterday, and so I thought usually I post my videos on Thursdays every week, but this week, because I am traveling this week and also because I wanted to get a response up to this right away, I am posting this today. I have a few comments about this topic. It is obviously not really even necessary to really talk about how stupid and silly Scientology TV is, but if you're interested, I have a couple things to talk about with this that I don't think anybody else has really commented on yet. I found it to be fascinating, almost appalling, and yet humorous at the same time, how many blatant exaggerations, half-truths, and outright lies they were able to pack in to every minute of the show. I watched its debut where David Miscavige, the ecclesiastical leader of Scientology, came on for a brief intro to talk about how the channel is not there to convince anyone or convert anyone, but merely to get the information about Scientology out there so people could avail themselves of the truth about it. Well, of course, as a former Scientologist of 27 years, 25 of those years having worked for the Church of Scientology all the way up to the Sea Org for the last 17 years, I can tell you a little bit of truth about Scientology. And I can tell you without any question or reservation that what is being presented to you on Scientology TV is a very dim shadow of what they wish Scientology actually was. And I'm trying to be generous here. The channel was originally slated to come out last summer in 2017, and that was when they were first promoting to Scientologists that the Scientology TV would be coming, which is why I made a video 11 months ago talking about what we expected to be on the channel, and I also read from the internal publications of Scientology as to what shows they were going to be producing and putting on air. Turns out those are exactly the shows that they put up, and we were absolutely right in some of our criticism about it. I spoke with a former Mormon who I did a little compare and contrast with for Mormon TV and what it's done and who its audience is, and then we talked about what we expected to see with Scientology. A link to that video is in the description below on my YouTube channel. I think the delay in getting this channel started had something to do with the fact that they had to hire a boatload of actors to appear to be Scientologists. I have absolutely no question whatsoever that a large chunk, maybe even up to 50 or 60% of the people that you see on that channel are not actually Scientologists. They're hired actors. And we saw over this last year calls for actors in Hollywood to appear for Scientology productions. So there is some basis for me to say that. I'm not just talking out my ears here. A great deal of the programming on the new channel is about Scientology's social betterment activities, or what they call their what they call their social betterment groups, what we call their front groups. The Association for Better Living and Education, which includes the Applied Scholastics, which is a group that deals with illiteracy and study, or a big part of what I've seen so far on the channel is human rights activities and education being done, or anti-drug activities and their Narcanon program, which they're promoting on the channel, including this sauna detox program, which I can tell you right now is 100% nonsense. I was going to say something stronger, but I'm trying to keep it civil here. The purification program, or purification rundown as they call it, is something I have already thoroughly debunked on this channel and has been totally debunked by professional toxicologists and medical doctors on the internet. You can look this up if you don't want to believe me and what I've put forward on my channel. The purification program is actually lethal in some cases. People have died doing it, and anyone who is watching the Scientology channel and learning about this Scientology detox program needs to know that spending 5 hours a day in the sauna, taking mega doses of vitamins and ever-increasing volumes of niacin is not healthy for you and is not something you need to do in order to detox your body. I said I made a whole video about it, so I won't go into it any more than that. As far as the rest of their social betterment programs go, here's the question you can ask yourself when looking at or wondering whether what they're saying as to their claims are valid or not. Have you ever seen or heard any objective third-party analysis or review or reporting on Scientology's activities in the big wide world and the big effects that they claim to be creating in stopping illiteracy, drugs, criminality, the spread of drugs in Colombia or whatever, in Latin America, the spread of, they're educating people on human rights. I actually don't have any problem with that. Their human rights educational materials are not bad. But do you see that the claims that they're making about using those human rights education resources are changing societies? No, of course they're not. They are educating some policemen. They're educating some school kids on human rights. That's a good thing to do. But are they changing societies as a result of doing that? Absolutely not. They're having a tiny, if any effect at all, a very, very, very small one. But they blow it out of proportion, as Scientology has to do, in order to make it seem like they're doing so much more. I've spoken on this channel, and other ex-Scientologists have also spoken about how when we were in Scientology, were indoctrinated many times a year at what are called Scientology international events, where David Miscavige stands on a stage, or other Scientology spokespeople stand on a stage and preach to Scientologists and tell them about all the wins and successes and gains and inroads that Scientology has made into society. And they show videos exactly like what Scientology TV is showing. So in effect, what Scientology TV is doing is it's taking Scientology's internal promotional materials and it's making it external. It's blowing it out to the whole world. You now get to see on Scientology TV what we were watching for years as Scientologists and as Sea Org members. This is what we thought was reality. The things that are being shown on Scientology TV are Scientology's, as David Miscavige's, efforts to convince Scientologists that their money is being well spent, that they're part of something really big, that's something that's really special, and something that's changing the world. As anyone who, has a little rational, objective point of view will see, if you look at Scientology TV, none of the claims that they're making actually work out in the real world. Yet that is what we believed was going on in the real world when we were in. So now they're trying to take that message out to everybody. Pretty ballsy move, actually, if you think about it. But really, it's not for you guys. And this is the point I wanted to come back around to. When I spoke with Jonathan Streeter a year ago about Mormon TV, he and I came to realize and agree that Mormon TV isn't directed to people outside the Mormon church. It's for Mormons. It looks like it's for people outside the Mormon church. It looks like it's trying to maybe bring people in. This is according to Jonathan, of course. I don't watch Mormon TV, but he and I were talking about this. And so really what it does is it reinforces the belief system that already exists within the church. And it's the same for what Scientology TV is trying to do for Scientology. They created a big launch. They paid for ads on YouTube in order to put it at the homepage of everybody's YouTube channel, so people would be drawn to see the premiere of it, and the scripting of the shows and the nature of the shows appears to be an effort to educate people outside the church about Scientology. But here, it's, and I know I'll get some disagreement on this, but my point is that it's not for the public at large. Scientology TV exists for really only one reason: to convince Scientologists that they are really making an impact in the world, that they are finally reaching out like never before to the grand wide world at large, who is waiting with bated breath and open arms to accept Scientology like it's never been accepted before, and therefore get the existing small base of Scientologists, probably about 30,000 people, give or take, worldwide, and get them to continue to give money and time to the Church of Scientology so that it can continue to exist, and David Miscavige can continue to live in the lavish lifestyle that he has become accustomed to over the last couple decades. And that's it. That's really what it's all about. And they have invested a lot of money in this. I'm not saying that they haven't. And they will get some people in as a result, because there are people out there who will literally believe anything. That is the only reason Scientology and destructive cults can even exist, is because people generally want to believe in something beyond themselves, want to believe in a better path and a go for the carrot of a better future for them if you only, give over your power of choice now. That is just human nature. And Scientology and other destructive cults prey on that human nature and take advantage of it. And that is what Scientology is doing. So it was David Miscavige expects to receive a return on investment. And that return is going to be millions of dollars more funneled into the International Association of Scientologists and given over to his organization, which in effect is given over to him, so that it carries on. There is a history in Scientology of releasing the next big thing, the next new thing. This was a pattern L. Ron Hubbard himself started, and it's how he kept Scientology going, is he always made big, grandiose promises about the next big thing that was coming. And he of course would make big promises and then not deliver, but he'd say, but the next thing is going to deliver on it. And then the next thing would come, and it wouldn't really be as great as Hubbard had been promising it would be. And then the next thing would come. Oh, but just wait, this is going to be the biggest thing ever. And Miscavige merely picked up on that as a marketing ploy for handling Scientologists. So this TV show is just the next in a long series of broken, empty promises. Scientologists expect that Scientology TV is going to flood their organizations with curious new people wondering what Scientology is all about, or thinking that they now have some idea of what Scientology is all about, and they're going to come in for the full story, and they're going to be, flooded with all these people, and Scientology is going to expand like never before. Well, I guarantee you that what Scientologists don't know, what they can't know because they don't let themselves know, is that Scientology is one of the most toxic brands on planet Earth. I mean, everybody hates Scientology, and with good reason. Scientology has earned its toxic reputation. I have made countless videos on this channel describing exactly why, so I don't need to reiterate them here. So Leah Remini's show, the Going Clear documentary. I mean, there's a countless numbers of videos and episodes and articles and exposés talking about the abuses and human rights violations that Scientology has carried out on its own members. So it's not a good thing. It just makes itself look like a shiny good thing. And I did have to laugh, by the way, because I think David Miscavige is probably more in love with lens flare than J.J. Abrams. I did have to laugh about that. There's a lot of shiny, glitzy stuff going on this channel. These videos that they've produced are good production value, pretty slick videos, but don't be fooled. Scientology is not something that is constructive, helpful, or in any way contributing to making society a better place for you, me, or anybody else. So that's my mini review of the Scientology TV channel. I hope you found this interesting and maybe a little educational. Thanks for coming around, and I will see you guys next time.